Welcome, you guys. It's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read in front of you. I'm also going to go through my union spread for this morning. That'll be a quick one. I'm going to show you a picture of that union spread from this morning here. All right. All right, so that's the union spread from this morning. And then this is the spread that's out in front of you today. Okay, so you have both spreads now. So you can take a pick if you want to look at them while you're doing the read. But I will explain everything from the union read. So the union read that I do first is the 9 cards with 3 before and 3 after. The 3 are the feminine coming into the read. The 3 going out are the masculine. And the 3, 6, 9 are the 3D, 4D, and 5D. Horizontally and vertically are the divine feminine. The bridge between them and the divine masculines on the right. The underlying energies at the top on the left, and the summary card is the 17th card on the right. So, and I'm losing my voice already, so there are definitely some things that need to be said here. It is February 25th, 2020. The 25 is the energy of the Knight of Wands, which is very, very energetic. A lot of desire there, physical movement, passionate movement, running around, doing errands, working out. All of those kind of energies fall under the Knight of Wands, as well as the day adding up to the 31, which is a 4, but it's also the 5 of Wands. So there's a lot of fire energy today. You may have felt some frustration today, or may just feel the under rumblings of frustration bubbling up. But the 31 is a 4. It's about the basic survival instincts. And then the 25, again, is a 7, which is the Chariot. You know, it's the again, the inner bubbling up, like of the momentum that's created by going back, right, with the Mercury retrograde. That momentum that's built up from that to shoot forward again, but there can be a little frustration that comes up today. So again, the 7 and the 4, 31, 4, 25, 7. So stability and spirituality. Also, 7 is about the calm before the storm. It's quiet time. So it's when you refuse to settle down or slow down, the world makes you sick in order to keep you still, you know, or injured. You guys are all familiar with that if you're twins, because we've all been sick or injured because of the journey in order to learn to stay still and listen to our bodies. So this union read today was at 9:38 to 39 this morning. 38 and 39 are the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups. And the underlying energies were the Tower. And then the center of the read was the 7 of Swords. So sudden risk and passing of downloads, lightning and fires, and a shadow as well, which I was getting a ghost or ghosting has definitely been a theme all week. The underlying divine feminine energies that were coming up, the 2 of Swords, the transition card or the death card, and the 3 of Swords from the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, were knowing for the feminine floating through the portal as light +1, or the 2 to the 3, or in other words, equaling lightning, and Michael was coming through, because Michael and Metatron come through for me as lightning and thunder. So in the 3D, the feminine, the King of Pentacles, the bridge is the 2 of Wands, and the masculine is the Knight of Pentacles. The divine feminine is dealing with Akashic records today and mastery over that, mastery of manifesting, and bridges to the divine masculine through the divine masculine's Knight of Pentacles, proposing or offering help of some kind via the bridge is the twin flame path, or the choices we make to come together. And this is the 3D is very going to be minimal messages, because the feminine is really not in 3D anymore. The masculine still may be touching in there a little bit because of the 3D family issues. But we're really focusing more on the 4 and 5D. So the 4D is the divine feminine and the destiny card. So again, the feminine cards are coming up more as trump cards, and it varies day to day, but the feminine seems to be more 5D, obviously, on a whole. Okay, so the 4D is the divine feminine with the Wheel of Fortune, the destiny card, and in this card is the Atom, just like Adam, and I was getting this Eve, bridged to the frog becoming the prince. So the 5 of Swords in this deck looks like a frog becoming a prince, which is really funny, as the divine masculine, via or taking the risk and passing downloads. That's the bridge. Taking the risk and passing downloads between you and to others from the 4D, from the 5D to the 4D, and from the 4D to the 3D, to the collective. The 5D is the Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower, with the Divine Feminine the Divine Masculine outside on his magic carpet with crystals, bridges to grief on his side. So the being at the Divine Feminine's location, coming together in that energy, bridges his grieving, but he may be grieving actually the grief of the Divine Feminine. And the Divine Feminine's heart is in the E Tower. And then they come together through the work that they do together, which was the Eight of Pentacles. And that comes up again later in this read, so don't forget about that. So the Eight of Pentacles is important regarding identifying the twins when they come together doing their mission work. So he may be going through some grief still, or grieving the Divine Feminine, or his holding of the Divine Feminine's grief, bridged by the Page of Pentacles and their curiosity about their abilities. So, and that's in the 5D. The Divine Feminine, with the King of Pentacles crystal skull, destined to be left behind in the 3D, right? No longer needing to deal with Akashic records in order to go more into the 5D Divine Feminine's heart. So remember what I've said before with these union reads. The 4D comes up as the higher self, but the 5D comes up as the heart connection between the twins. So actually higher than the higher self. The bridge comes up here as the 3D twin flame choice to take the risk of passing downloads above the ground, 5D basically going down to the 3D and learning new abilities in 5D. Right, so we're passing the downloads from 5 to 3, being in the middle on the 4 as we move up to 5. We're always in 5, but not on a every minute basis, moment to moment. So we're getting more and more and more into the 5D, learning new abilities, as well as we get our new downloads and upgrades every quarter. The Divine Masculine column is the Knight of Pentacles offering an offer or a proposal, a promise that he's becoming your prince. Don't worry, look up and see the 2 cups in 5D. I'm here. And this is a trickle-down effect. The outgoing cards for the Divine Masculine side is hiding in the woods, the house perhaps that you're looking at, the shadow web, to the Hermit with the light, and afraid to go outside and see what is there. Worried he doesn't have enough, or doesn't have as much as the feminine, the loyal, humble servant, the dark horse, may have sold his horse for a sparkly thing to move to a city where we can get around on foot perhaps. And then I was getting over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. So then I was getting floating in 2s, because that was coming up from this read, creates anxiety and fear, prison, and the woods. So the woods is another wound, right? Of all the fairy tales we were told growing up. We have a lot of fears around that stuff of being in the woods. And transitioning through the portal in the valley of the shadow of death, all right? So who doesn't have fears about that, right? You're taught to fear God. Floating in 2s creates anxiety or fear, prison, woods, and transitioning through the portal in the valley. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and staff. They comfort me. And then music comes up, of course. Lightning and thunder, light and sound, Michael and Metatron, as well as Mary Magdalene, the Hermit. And then a line from my song, Christos Sophia, came up. They got it wrong, because I'm the minor key as the masculine talking, and you're the sunshine in me. So the closing card was the 7 of Wands at 10:10, which is that high vibration times 2, suddenly tangoing above the fire or the drama, the firewalker. And then I was getting Luke Skywalker, and then they were guiding me to go read Luke 17. So the Valley of the Shadow of Death is Psalm 23:4. So now I'm guided to go to Luke 17. And by the way, the floating in 2s is really weird that I brought this up. I didn't even realize I wrote this before the next part that comes up for us, because it has to do with that. Standing at the Y in the road is really important here, and that's what the twos have to do. It has to do with decision making. And when you're standing at the Y in the road and you're not making a move, you've decided not to move, right? Because that is a decision. However, if it keeps nagging at you, obviously there's something more that needs to happen, because you've made a decision, but yourself is bothering you. You're uncomfortable inside your body, which is your higher self telling you you need to make another choice. Okay? So there's definitely a lot of processing around that came up this morning. All right? But standing at the Y in the road is making a choice to not move, and yet you're choosing to hurt yourself by staying in an uncomfortable position that's not actually serving your highest good. And we're all guilty of that. So Luke 17, about Jesus healing the 10 lepers. And the first part's called Sin, Faith, and Duty. Things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through whom they come. It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. So watch yourselves. If your brother or sister sins against you, rebuke them, and if they repent, forgive them. Even if 7 times in a day, then 7 times repent. You must forgive them, and I am paraphrasing a little bit here. So the apostles say, please increase our faith then, and then if you have faith, this is then Jesus talking, if you have faith as a small mustard seed, then you can say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it will obey you. So there's a lot of talk in this area too about being a servant. And as you know, that when you're being a servant, when someone's paying you, you're doing your duty. So they don't owe you more than they pay you, because that was the job. So it's the same type of energy. So the next section was Jesus heals the 10 men with leprosy. So he sent the 10 lepers to show themselves to the priest. And as they went, they were cleared, but one returned to thank Jesus, or to thank God. And he was a Samaritan. And that's where the good Samaritan comes from, okay? But the other 9 didn't show up, just the one. And Jesus said, rise and go, your faith has made you well. So the other 9 never came back to say thank you or to recognize God. And Jesus didn't want the credit for him. He was saying, didn't they want to come back and say thank you, or at least address that they'd done something nice for them? So again, the good Samaritan. I can't even talk today. I'm sorry. It's Mercury retrograde on Virgo, so it affects me a lot. Not usually this much, but it is now. The next section was the coming of the kingdom of God. The kingdom and the Son of Man is in your midst, and in his day will be like lightning. So when they're asking, when are we going to be in the kingdom of God, and when will we see the Son of Man, right? So this is Jesus saying the kingdom and the Son of Man, both of them, so I'm paraphrasing, is in your midst now. It is, and in his day, he is here in his day, and it will be like lightning, which flashes and lights up the sky from one end to the other. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation, which is the twins. Just as Noah, so this will be, eat, drink, and be married. And you always say eat, drink, and be married. It's eat, drink, and be married. And then that's when the flood came. And then the days of Lot, when the day Lot left Sodom, and then the fire and rain came. So the same story over and over, that the kingdom is already here, and the Son of Man is already here, but you won't recognize it. It'll come in like lightning, which flashes up and lights the sky after you have suffered many things and been rejected by your generation. No one should go back for anything, on the rooftop or out in the field. Whoever tries to keep their life or their old life will lose it, and whoever loses their life will preserve it. Every one of 2 will be taken. But where? Well, where there is a dead body, there are vultures that will gather, okay? So again, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not using every word from the scripture, but you get the idea. So then an advertisement came up on that. I think it was Bible. What's it called? It's called, I have to look it up again. I'll tell you on the next one which one. I think it was the international version, but it doesn't really matter because it's just the idea that we're getting, not the exact words. Bible Depot, is it called? I believe that was it. So then an ad came up on this website for Deepak Chopra, which was kind of cool, and his 7 spiritual laws and the retreat that he's doing. So 2 of trans was coming up, and 2 googly eyes were coming up for me from that. The 2 going through the transition, the portal, and then 8, oh, the Shah, the 8 and the 0, toggling up the he, Shah. So the masculine energy, the leader, and reflect. The 3 of orbs of the separation and detaching yourself, and the reflection of going within, between the feminine and the masculine selves. And here on the 2 of transition side was the 2, and the other side was the other side for the masculine was the 8, oh, the Shah, which was the 8 side, which is the 28 of the twin flames again. So lightning was very much on the feminine side, the tower and the 3 of swords, the portal of death, the rod and staff, and I was getting time. Time is on my side. So that was coming up. He is doing the shadow work and is being the fire walker. And that's where we led to Luke Skywalker, which was Luke 17 that we just went through. So then after I finished Luke 17, I was like, was 17, are you sure that's the one you wanted me to reference? Which was correct. But then I was going back to the time that I was referenced to that, and it was 10:10, and I was guided then to Luke 10, which was very important. So at 10:27, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the 3 of Swords, which just came up in the Union Read, was Luke 10. And specifically, Luke 10:17 was even more important. Jesus sends out the 72. And what is 72? It's half of the 144. So I believe that in the Bible, they were not talking about 72 because he was referencing the 2x2s, which I brought up on the page prior to this, before I even got to this part. Jesus sends out the 72, 2x2. So it's literally 72 couples, which becomes the 144. But also the 72 references the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles means nothing by itself because it's a lower level survival. Whereas if you have 2 4 of Pentacles of each twin, it becomes the 8 of Pentacles, which becomes their mission work together, which was very cool. So note that the 72 is 36 and 36, which is the 10 of Wands and 10 of Wands, the burdens that need to be dropped. The 72 becomes the 4 of Pentacles with the other, so another 72, the 4 of Pentacles, which then become the 144, which is the Magician, and the 44 of the 4 of Cups, the grounding and integrating and manifesting of love, receiving love especially. It's also the 14 and the 4 of the Temperance card of the angels and patience and the Emperor, having control over that, having control over your inner strength. And the 72, significantly for me, was really cool that it came up because I met my twin on 7/2. So Jesus sends out, this is Luke 10, Jesus sends out the 72, 2x2 ahead of him to every town and place he was about to go. The harvest is plentiful, but workers are few. Ask the Lord, or harvest, therefore send workers into his harvest field. Go, I am sending you out like the lambs amongst the wolves. Do not take your purse or your bag or your sandals, and do not greet anyone on the road. And as you come to people's homes, always say peace to this house. So when you say that, the peace will go to the owner if they're a peaceful person, and if they are not, the peace to this house will return to you. Eat and drink, deserving wages. Do not move around from house to house. When you enter a town and are welcomed, eat what is offered. Heal the sick and tell them the kingdom of God has come near to you. If you are not welcomed, then say in the streets, even the dust of your town we wipe from our feet as a warning to you. Yet be sure of this, the kingdom of God has come near and will be bearable on that day for Sodom than for that town. So I'm not crazy about the line about threatening the town, right? But anyway, you get the energy of that section. So then we get to 10:17 of Luke. The 72 returned with joy and said, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. He replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning, and that came up very much in the Union Read yesterday and today, from heaven, which is the Michael and the Metatron, being the wings of Mary Magdalene. I have given you the authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and overcome the power of your enemy. Nothing will harm you. However, do not rejoice that spirits submit to you, but that your names are written in heaven. So it has to do with being prideful, okay? So just, of course, like the reason why the twins have this role and mission is because they are the lambs. They don't tend to take credit for everything. They tend not to, right? Because they just want to be the humble servant. The Jesus pauses, or Jesus praises Father, hiding these things from the wise and learned, and reveal to the little children, because this is what pleased Father. So it was bringing up the bond between the Father and Son and knowing each other in a private way, in a private unit. Blessed are eyes that see what you see, as I'm talking to you. Prophets and kings wanted what you see, but did not see it or hear it, like you have now. The parable of the Good Samaritan then came up. Love God with all your heart, your soul, your strength, and your mind, and love thy neighbor as thyself. So anyone who needs a helping hand, basically. Paying attention to each other is more important than the preparations. So it talked about the Martha and Mary situation where Martha greeted him at the door, but Mary sat down with him to discuss, and then Martha was upset because Mary wasn't helping her prepare everything for Jesus, and that the preparations weren't important. It's the connection between the human that was important. And that's a lesson to a lot of moms out there who worry about what it looks like more than the actual kindness or connection between people and making people feel comfortable. All right, so then in the 4D, the Divine Feminine with the 3 of orbs in the atom was coming up in a way that I was holding the 3 cards together, that the two orbs were dumped or passed on, keeping 3, where the feminine had 3 orbs, which are like 5D equivalent of the crystal ball in the 3D that the masculine would hold. The frog prince juggles 3, leaving 2 on the ground, dropping them because they're not important to him, separating the wheat from the chaff or the dead weight. The divine masculine dropped from 5 to 3 to be like the divine feminine, even. 3 and 3 equals 6, the lovers. So in 5D is paralleling that, the 1 orb with the 1 crystal ball. The 1 orb being 5D, the 1 crystal ball being 3D. The same thing, basically. Child's play. One left out, though. The third is always left out crying. 2 cups are a closed unit. The third is time to purge. So as the masculine and feminine come together, whoever was broken up with starts their purge in order to go through their clearing, and the 4D. So the divine feminine is blindly going through the portal and separation on blind faith, the Mary Magdalene energy. And then I started shuffling for the main read, and the 8 of Pentacles flipped out. So again, I had just brought that up about the 4 of Pentacles plus the 4 of Pentacles of the 72 and 72 equals the 144, and the mission of the twins, and working with crystal or crystalline energy on the steps, the stairways to heaven, and the E-Tower. So let's see here. So I went on to the read in front of you, the Divine Masculine read. The SIRIAN Starseed deck, it's 24-24 just now, the end of karma, and 24 and 24, which is paralleling the 72 and 72. 24 and 24 is 48, which is the 8 of Cups. So there's 2 8s, the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is the walking away and within, which is also part of the mission work. You see how important the 8s are here. So I cut and dealt the SIRIAN Starseed deck at 1140, which is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is the foundation energy for this read. So And also you see standing up there in the back right here is the Lovers card. That's the theme of the read today. Came up upright, the Lovers. Looking at the Lovers card, or when I was looking at that card, I noticed my two little Fiji guys in front of the card were looking so cute, because that's like the little twins, the Six of Cups. I don't know if you can see them very well. There's two little guys right there. So that's representing the Six of Cups. It was so cute. I didn't do that on purpose, so I liked seeing that. So the first shuffle of the mini deck, the first card out, flipped out, was the Six of Cups, then referencing those two little Fiji guys. It was so cute. Anyway, so I was also noting as I dealt out the mini deck, which is the last deck I do, it felt weird today. Like the patterns that usually go down, they were not my typical patterns. And I do it by guidance anyway, but they usually go basically in a certain pattern, but this one kind of went out of the lines today. And there's a bridge to the block. There were no block clarifiers and no final card clarity. Because it was the Lovers and the Six of Cups, which is very clear, right? The twin Lovers. So I finished the read at 12:01 to 12:02, which is the Hangman and the Magician and the High Priestess, which references Jesus and Mary Magdalene on the cross together, which comes up a lot. And also notice from my after death thing from yesterday, right? The 11th and 12th and 13th hour, right at midnight, becomes after death, right? Because when someone gets their head chopped off, the knife actually comes down right at 12. So anything after death, when the head rolls, is then after death. So after the bewitching hour. And this was 12:01 to 2. So after death, 12:01 to 2. Mary and Jesus on the cross after death, rising together. So the major arcana, as I'm losing my voice again, was Justice, Abundance, and Ascension as the major arcana. And before the read, Indigo also came up. So just want to show that to you here. The underlying energy here is the Four of Pentacles. How perfect is that? The 72. And in this SIRIAN Starseed deck, it's very much the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave. So this Four of Pentacles comes up, and it's so funny that we talked about the two twins being the 4 plus 4 of Pentacles equals the 8. In this deck, the 7 of Pentacles, not this deck though, this deck, but the 7 of Pentacles, which is the Divine Feminine's heart in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, is sitting right next to the Masculine's heart. But hers is the E-Tower. I don't know if the 7, I don't think the SIRIAN Starseed deck was out today, but it was just very interesting that came up there. So the 4 of Pentacles plus the 7 of Pentacles would be the 72, 73, 74, 75. So it would be 147. So that's kind of interesting. I'll have to think about that one too. All right, so we had 1 Pentacle, 4 Cups, and 3 Wands. There were no swords in this read for the masculine today. And the only court card was the Page of Cups. Before the read, though, the Knight of Pentacles came up, and after the read, the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords both came up. The code line was all about moderation, but it was also being blocked, some of the letters, so it was coming up as rations. Mode, rations. So, and that can have to do with, oh, rat. I was just getting two. I didn't get this before. Rat connections. Interesting. And also Ra, connecting up connections. But rat connections, that's interesting. Okay. So the numbers here on the code line added up to 18. It was 13 and 5, which are 18, which is the moon. And then the other significant numbers here were double 4s was most important, and then double 2s and double 5s. 22 is the Fool, 44 is the 4 of Cups, the 55 is the Ace of Swords, the Excalibur, and then the number 7 was also important, the Chariot. Also the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the first half of the cycle, so already being halfway into the cycle. 143 came up, which is interesting because that's like the moment before the hour of 144. And then 24 of the Queen of Wands, 45 of the 5 of Cups, 57 the 3 of Swords, and 78 the 10 of Pentacles. So the code line regarding moderation or rations had to do with after death. So after I said after death with the 1201 to 2, Mary Magdalene and Jesus on the cross, after death came up in the code line. So after death, bridge to source for the students of death in a fair fight. And then St. Bart's was coming up, as well as no climax. Or in slang, the meaning was perversion, because it had to do with BL. BL is a publishing division of War Games Company. It's also in urban. It's considered like a anime sex stuff, perversion and boy stuff, but that's the slang definition. The actual definition has to do with no climax, no point, no meaning. So after death bridge to source in students of death, right, the Mary Magdalene and Jesus energy in a fair fight, right, all is fair in love and war. And St. Bart's came up as well as the definition of no climax, no point, no meaning. And that's Japanese. And I knew, as soon as I was opening it, I knew it was going to be Japanese. And of course, having to do with the Olympics again, being in Japan this year. So then I was getting sexual connection from my twin at about 12:25, 26 to 12:30. There's definitely sexual energy coming through, and it doesn't come through that often anymore. So that was very interesting. And just make sure there wasn't anything I missed on that page. And then I pulled some cards from the Kipper deck as I was going through this stuff, and this was at 101. And then the despair card came up of the masculine energy, and then the mature woman, and then the official lover and the gift, which is 17. And the numbers there were 32 of the journey, 6 of the lovers, 22 of the fool, 15 of the devil, and then 17 of the star. And then the distant horizon came up with the expectation and the thief, which are the numbers of the 36 of the burden, the 28 of the twins, expectation, and then the thief of the 24, which is the Queen of Wands. And that comes up around the energy stealing and that kind of stuff. So we start this read on the Four of Pentacles reversed, the Divine Masculine's heart opening up. The Divine Masculine's heart open in the Batcave after the indigo is reversed. Insecure, stubborn, lazy, on strike, or refusing to move, working to align with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy. The Six of Cups exchanging energy with player or just falling short and holding back. The Knight of Cups reversed may be jealous or just insincere or at home reaping rewards of the Divine Feminine's heart. The Knight of Wands reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed could be representing the masculine and the feminine hearts because they're both side by side right here. And the Six of Cups. Having sex through the heart path, right? Through your cord. The unfulfillment or unhappy family of the Queen of Wands reversed, tired or angry, coming clean or getting clean with a message of love at the new moon or a deceptive message or happening before dawn, a new life to hang out with the Divine Feminine's heart and reap rewards perhaps. And then Bart Simpson was coming up, but then that was referring back to St. Bart's again. So somebody may be planning to go to St. Bart's to hang out with the Divine Feminine. If he can swing it, a pretty penny, seeing new perspectives, or Bermuda portal. So people are looking at different places to go. Hanging out in green boots, or retiring his leprechaun boots, or just retiring, ... with the Divine Feminine. The Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help, a child or a patient, healing, forgiving, and letting go to repair, fix, or mend. The patchwork quilt, which came up for me a year or two ago when I went to a psychic fair with my twin flame friend, and I sat with someone who actually brought up my grandmother. My grandmother was talking about putting together the patchwork quilt. So this is coming back again. That basically the quilt has been completed. Gilligan's Island also is coming up again today with a tiny ship was tossed. If not for the efforts of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. And the minnow is the very small fish, right? The meek. And that was at 1, 2, 3, jump. 1 is the magician, 23 is the King of Wands. Uncharted desert island, and also uncharted territory then coming up with that 1, 2, 3. And the lovers being the theme here. Floating the gold coin with that's not motor in, so somebody's motor may be broken or just they need some motoring going on. Unable to travel, sail, or find peace on the water, or heading home from a trip. Worth waiting for came up, and beneath that was chemistry. No options, or feeling like they don't have any options, or unable to implement a plan even though they've chosen a path. Frustrated, starting over in love, feeling powerless with the Queen of Swords reversed. Or, this is funny how I saw this in the card, the feminine plastered to the glass ceiling with her heart in hand. No more why in the road or waiting at the gate. No sweets and treats, no rock, paper, scissors, or scissors, magnet, coin, or children's scroll work, pins, candles, and bells. No more feng shui all over the house. No more obsessions or obsessive men or verbally abusive women. At the old ball game, so that was coming up there. And I got really hot at that moment at 134, which is the Magician, and 34, which is the Eight of Wands, which is exchange of energy. So rebirth comes up as number 16, the Tower, and beneath that for the masculine was relationship change, which is number 56, the Two of Swords, being in his knowing. Drained without their sunshine, and confession going on, finding peace in the Tower with a sudden event or an epiphany, as the Page of Wands is inspired to control his desires. After perhaps having a spontaneous orgasm or connecting sexually, like I told you happened already today, with third party without blue eyes, or eyes taken out, or eyes closed or wide shut. An eye transplant has come before, so it might have come up again today. Someone getting an eye transplant, perhaps from a relative who passed away. So eyes closed or wide shut in disconnect of a powerful, unbreakable connection. Negative influences, refusing to see, knowing he needs to break up and open his heart to the divine feminine's heart to reap rewards of who he is today at this moment, without peace, or without the perfect place to go, or a need to go home to the Queen of Swords reversed and rebirth of the 16 of that Tower moment. The recent past is the Four of Cups reversed, no longer an island unto himself, or wishing upon a star, offered a new life for dependent or powerlessness and grief. Somebody could be paying off someone for their pain and suffering, and offering new passion, from knowing he is nothing without you, injured, alone out in the cold, with the Page of Swords spreading the word about spirituality and divorce or a break in contract. The foundation is the Page of Cups, the message of love, and the patient working to align, getting their ducks in a row, shining your light, healing and dreaming without option, and the centered energy being here, the Three of Wands upright, being present. And what is the card that we left off with yesterday real quickly? The gift. The gift of the present moment, to defending or honoring his destiny, right? He's defending his own destiny, knowing what he knows. The challenge being the injustice of the 5D connection to a third party through work or place of co-creation, and coming together in joy as the Ten of Pentacles, Empress, and Magician reversed, and Justice reversed, and Queen of Pentacles, who could be a group, or Gemini, Virgo, but both reversed, or Libra reversed and Queen of Pentacles, or she is claiming manipulation and that things are unfair for her. The Star, keeping to self, refusing advances, and the Queen of Cups upright with wealth of the Emperor and the Empress. So somebody has wealthy parents or wealthy grandparents or an aunt and uncle perhaps. And so the Queen of Cups upright with wealthy Emperor and Empress, or that could be their job as well, and all work and business between the Emperor reversed and the Hierophant reversed, or Aries reversed and Taurus reversed, and dissatisfied with third party always with them, in physical separation but always connected, sharing energy exchange, and destined to fall and drop everything and dropping a load. Now, the Empress dumping emotional attachments to come clean or get clean, recovering from hanging out in a fishbowl, trapped and released through disconnect. Sharing or settling out, the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth in the aftermath of an offer of love at 154, which is the Magician, and the Page of Swords. At 155, the Ace of Swords, Excalibur, big love through third party at work or place of co-creation, and unhappy family or end of emotional cycle of unhappiness on a quest to play and flirt with the Emperor in deception of frustration and deliberation, fighting what he knows to be true, destined to use partner for their body and not look at their face, and sit in uncomfortable emotions and energies of hurting each other, being dissatisfied with each other, falling on face from grace, or just lacking faith, resisting the end to end pain in the butt, or painful ending, betrayal, and the King of Cups reversed in detox, and now new self-love, suffering in silence, the Knight of Wands reversed, who was played or fell short, needing to express their desires, and destined to fall and get hurt in the end. The masculine, now recognizing this, was part of the plan. So soon for the masculine is the Seven of Wands, standing up for self in ending a cycle and breaking up with the Queen of Wands reversed. The King of Wands no longer wanting unhappiness. Now he's wanting joy. Home, letting go of Scrooge mentality in deliberation or poor decisions in the aftermath, and standing up for self to the Queen of Pentacles Taurus in a divorce or a breaking contract, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stubborn, blocking lovers, and the Queen of Cups being strong with the truth, to juggler of high vibration and keeping High Priestess on the down low, kept secret, and their psychic abilities, or his own, starting over in love, refusing to be a secret. The masculine seeing himself as the Ace of Cups, upright, on a quest, as the wounded warrior for true love, going out of his mind with Virgo reversed or Cancer upright, or over-isolating, coming out in a bold move to go where no man has gone before, and be love. Make an effort, and soulmate, as well as finances and career came up, and calling in your soulmate. Around the masculine, or how he is seen, is the Ascension card upright, like the World. Complete, done a cycle, and or this is the sealed divine feminine. Present to the Queen of Swords reversed, and they're grieving or mourning the loss of their other, and the Emperor reversed, unhappy, and getting on journey to the sealed divine feminine. Dissatisfied at present without his wish, the Queen of Swords reversed with weight of the journey by herself, and the Emperor reversed with the weight of the world and the sealed divine feminine on his. The masculine needs to clear blocks of the Five of Wands expansion energy without fight or competition, armed only with the truth and inner strength, performing as the High Priest with the Book of Knowledge, Akashic Records, and rejecting all preconceived notions and open to all. Moderation, again, moderation, or rations, and even more so for the masculine today was effort and environment. In the aftermath of a jealous rage and only confessing after the fact, the Six of Cups was played or played out, an energy exchange, destined to fall and confess and let go of everything, or just let go of all their responsibilities. The Queen of Swords reversed, suffering in silence, with the King of Pentacles and a little message of love to come and hang out together, perhaps. The Two of Cups reversed, in disconnect, spreading the word about the frog who fought to become a prince and tired of sitting on the logs. The King of Swords at 221, the High Priestess and the World, or completion, with the King of Swords with a POW, standing up together, a united front. Okay. So at 222, room 222, the guidance counselor show, the Divine Masculine's heart, or the back cave, is open to the Divine Feminine's heart, willing to consider if he comes there. There's no piece of the King of Swords reversed in the rebirthing process and disconnected. The Page of Cups, new love, and now the world's complete, starting over with present, being present in the moment, or with a gift. And the challenge being the injustice in having to stand up for self and take the high ground in a fight with the Empress and abundance and kids or twins, and the Six of Cups as the Queen of Swords reversed and the Two of Cups reversed, and news of a war. And they are taking prisoners and the higher ground. The Divine Masculine's heart starting over in a disconnect or breakup, and the Page of Cups present with abundance, and the Empress challenged by injustice. New love standing up for twins and kids, and the world complete with the quest of the twins. So that was a really good one. 4439, I love that. 44 is that grounding and integrating and mastering love, and there's 4444. And then the, what did I say, 39 is the Knight of Cups, being love. So I am going to pull you a few oracle cards today. All right, let's see what the Kipper deck has for you guys first. I made up a little deck too, just of characters. So it just only has some of the court, not all of the court cards. I didn't put the pages in there. So just the knights, the queens, and the kings, and then a few other majors that really come off as people that can identify people, along with the lovers and the 6 of cups. So it's like a mini deck to identify people. All right, so for the Kipper deck, everybody take a deep breath. Today is February 25th, 2020. For everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so from the Kipper deck, we have the wealthy man. And look at that, and a marriage. So not bad to start off. Just watch out for any not showing your complete authentic self, because you know this doesn't work unless you are truthful with each other. There definitely may be a message there too. The bottom of the deck is an official person coming. All right, the mature man and a house. Okay. So that may be involved as well. Let's see here. What do we have for you? I'm going to start with the Nature's Whispers. Okay, see where we go. All right, so let's see what we have from Nature's Whispers. What is our advice from this read? What was the point of the union read and this divine masculine read? All right, well, these two came out. I love the colors. The colors are really cool in this deck. It's a little bit violet, and this is like a Mary Magdalene yellow, but it's got a little bit of green tint in it. So we have this one here, maintain your childlike spirit, which was very much coming up today about being the child, the 6 of Cups and the Page of Cups being the only court card in the read. 27 is that Ace of Wands, that new passion, new inspiration, new creativity, and basically, you know, to write your own story, to paint your own picture. And the full colors aren't out in this one. This is very grounded energy here. But again, this is the Y in the road. Look at the picture. She's swinging at the Y in the road. She can either go one way or the other. And it's a beautiful woods. So she's still hanging out, deciding what she wants to do. But you see in her wings how she's got a little bit of both paths in her wings. She's got some of the yellow and some of the orange. So you want to go the sacral path or you want to go the solar plexus path. And that looks like what the choices are right there. But the card is 27, which indicates the sacral path, the passion. And then we have renewal of peace, and the baby is so cute. 13 is the transition card, or the death card, transformation, to allow that transformation to happen. And there's the frog, and the frog to the prince, right? So that can be literally the rebirth of coming from the frog to becoming the little prince. And the wings are so cute. They're so pretty. And all the little animals coming to see. The squirrels are definitely coming to visit me today. And a little birdie. And this little bird came up earlier for my son, I think. And then we have little, I don't know if they're chipmunks or little mice or a possum. But just all the little baby animals coming to see the new baby, the new birth. Because it's spring, you guys. So get ready. It's like she's cleaning her house and now she's swinging in the backyard. Getting ready for the new birth of spring. And here's clearing the dead weight, the dead brown leaves, getting them out of the garden and stuff. It's like I just see her swinging there saying, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. You know, like the teenage girl, she can't wait to have a date with that guy that she likes. But the guy has some catching up to do yet because he was just born, right? Okay. The underlying energy here is the vulnerability, the 34 of the Eight of Wands again, the exchange of energy, expression of feelings. Also has to do with fast-paced communications and travel, but allowing yourself to be vulnerable, a child again. All right. Can you get more childlike? All right. You have 3 cards here. The underlying energy, and they're all very much similar energies with the wings, right? These wings are the same colors that are in the 2 cards. So it's very much about being a baby again. And this card's just about sleeping peacefully. Look, she's sleeping in the dead leaf. So you can repurpose some of those things from nature as well. So it's saying, yeah, recycle. Recycle, and then paint some new colors. You can add a few at a time. Some candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's got 7 candles lit. I think they usually have 7 candles. And it's hard to see, but there's castles in the background there too. And that's like a red sun. Somebody's birthday is coming up too. You might have to maybe, oh, March 7th. We have a March 7th in our family. So that's coming up for someone. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's more than 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles. So maybe March 9th is somebody's birthday. And also the 9 candles are coming up because it's a leap year on the 29th. It's a special day. So somebody might have a very special birthday this year on the 29th. That's what they're bringing up. So happy birthday to whoever has their birthday on a leap year. It's very special. Only every 4 years. All right, now we're going to go to Metatron's deck. What does Metatron want to tell us? Metatron, what do you want us to know? What is the summary of this read and the union read for February 25th, 2020? Metatron. Oh, there we go. We have transformation, light and dark. 31 is, again, the day added up today to 31. The 5 of Wands, allow with the expansion, to allow your shadow side to be with you, right? Accept it all. And allow the transformation through the portal. Allow the sun to make sure to get out in the sun and get the sun rays as well. And the next card out is passion, love for life, which is interesting. My son and I are taking a little trip down to the beach tomorrow. And so this is 25, which is the day's date today, the 25th of the Knight of Wands. So show your passion, your love for life. Like, let your heart well up. And then this card also wants to come up. So it'll be these 3. This one is authentic self, to be authentic to yourself. And again, the 46, the 6 of Cups, the children in the garden, the twins. Make sure to be who you are. Show your passion for love, for life, and allow both your light and your shadow to shine through. Accept all parts of you, and also make sure you get some rays of sun. And the keyhole here, it's very interesting because that looks like it looks like a baby coming out of the vagina, but they're full grown. So I find that kind of interesting. It's like a keyhole. Right, well, I always say that is the key. The masculine's mouth and the feminine's vagina are the 2 keys of the quantum leap. The bottom of the deck is the inner child, the hear and know me. Okay, 36 is the 10 of Wands again. The weight of the world upon your shoulders to let go of your burdens. Ask your inner child what they need to feel loved. Hear and know me. That's why it's all the childlike energies are coming here, right? The being reborn. Look at the colors, how they go together. Okay, so the being reborn, to be inside your heart with that zest for life and accept all that you are, the shadow and the light. Okay, and talk to your little child to make sure they're okay and they have what they need. I always get, which movie is this? Know Me Better, Man. Is that from the Ghost of Christmas Past, or is it one of the Muppet movies? I can't remember. Know Me Better, Man. Okay, so that's good. So much child energy here, and birth and rebirth. Always be a mother to your own inner child first. And then we have the energy deck here. Thank you, Metatron. Okay, let's see here. The energy deck. All right, what is our message? Oh, that wanted to come out. Didn't want me to let it go by. Aw, door to romance, like a Valentine's card. It's a belated Valentine's. 33 is the Christ vibration. It's also the 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself, taking the higher ground without being defensive. And your door to romance. And there's your bird cage. The Master did say he was taking prisoners. There's a key right there next to the cage, so you have the key to unlock his heart, and you know what that key is. That's so funny. Now, when I was shuffling, it didn't want me to... This is not the bottom of the deck, it's in between, but it wanted to stay open to this card to see this, because this came up again earlier today. Happy family. To allow the rainbow of the happy family. Number 4 is the Emperor. And funny, because we're going to the beach tomorrow, so they're on the beach. And the bottom of the deck is blossoming abundance, which has to go out into the spring and nature and allow the sun to shine through and just go outside, right? Don't stay in when you don't want to go out. It's saying it's time to go out. It's springtime. The door to romance. Oh, I wonder if I can count these. Probably not. It's very red and gold based. There is green here too. So very much root to heart chakra in this card. But so much red there, so much root. And again, that's the lower chakras of the 4 of Pentacles. It's giving me again, like, right? The 2 4 of Pentacles becomes the 8 of Pentacles. And that becomes the higher level of manifestation for the mission work. But again, this is the 3 and 3. So we go from the 3 and 3 to the 4 and 4. Oh, that's my business name, 3344. It's so funny how they do that. All right, do I have one more? Yeah, the animal deck. You want to know how I got my name, the Twin Flames 3344? Well, I've always been into numerology, and, well, I'm shuffling. And my life lesson number is 44, which is a power number. And my soul number is 3811, which is also a power number. And so, of course, I always want to know more. But I've always been attached to 33 as well, especially in, like, different people I knew. And so that rung a bell with me, but that's not why I got to 33 and 44. I took in numerology, in the Divine Triangle numerology book, you have 4 main numbers. You have your soul number, your outer personality number, your destiny number, and your life lesson number. So I took the 4 numbers of me and my twin, and I added them each up, and they were 33 and 44. But mine wasn't 44, it was 33, how it added up, even though my life lesson number is 44. So it worked out doubly anyway. And then the numbers that the name adds up to too, and it works out towards our numbers as well. So it was very cool the way it all came together. And plus it's 3, 3, and 4, 4 is 6 and 8, which is another number that comes up in our main number. So that's how it came to be. And then of course the 6 and 8 equals 14, which is the angels. All right, so from the Animal Tarot, what is the last word of advice? And that one came out very significantly. Oh, and the cat didn't really bother. I did hear the cat once or twice today, but not too bad today. 6 of Summer came out, the goose. I have heard the geese flying very faintly in the distance. I thought I did earlier today. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. All right, so we have a mother and 2 baby chicks there. Could be a father as well. Okay, so obviously children are focused today. We're getting lots of child energy. This card also wants to be seen, the 13 of release and the peacock. It's time to release the past and move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. And you notice this peacock is beautiful and white and pure of intent with the right rose as well. And there's a butterfly in there too, saying, come along with me. I am free. I have something to show you. And you notice too, on this like tower here, just like a lighthouse, the number 6 is on there. So that's the lovers again. The goose and the peacock, right? They're both birds, they're similar, but not the same. And one has kids and the other doesn't, but that's okay. What a pair they make, right? The bottom of this animal deck is the 9 of autumn, the ragdoll cat. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. Okay, that's the underlying energy for you guys. So it's really about the cat. They did their thing, and now it's time for the birds to come together. And it's all about, whether it's about your children or your inner child, it's all about the children today and the door to romance and romancing the spring as well. All right, and since I told you about my people deck, and it's 101-44, and I'm sweating right now, there's a lot of masculine energy coming in. I'm gonna pull a card from my people card deck that I made and see who comes up. Just for an outgoing card here. All right, what needs to come out for these guys? All right, you got the World and the 6 of Cups. All right, and this for me is like the sealed divine feminine marching to the beat of her own drum. Okay, sealed out from the world. And there's the bull and lion trying to get in, and there's Thoth and Michael up there protecting the feminines, right? And here's the masculine coming to the feminine. And look, the next card is, look at the bottom of the deck. Those are the cards that you got from my people card deck. So that's perfect. An offering of love to the divine feminine from the masculine, coming together in union. Really beautiful, guys. I hope you like that. All right. The underlying energy, the 4 of crystals, the bat cave, the recent past, the 4 of chalices or 4 of cups. The foundation here is the seeker of chalices, that page of cups. The central energy is the 3 of wands upright, challenged by the injustice, the justice card reversed. The underlying energy is there, and the crowning card here was the abundance. It's hard to see, but that's the Empress there. And then scrolling over the 4D bridge to the 7 of flames or wands, which was upright. The masculine seeing himself as the Ace of Cups upright today, really beautiful. And around him is the Ascension card or World upright, and the blocks have to do with the 5 of flames upright or wands. And then you see the greens and yellows of the cards that came out, so very much heart and solar plexus today. And we end up on the 6 of, you can't see them very well. You got the kids, the 6 of Cups there was your final card upright, and then the Queen of Swords was there, but she's reversed, as well as the 2 of Cups was reversed, but the Lovers is upright. And there's the Page of Swords upright, and then the 5 of Wands upright too. And then there's the masculine standing up for him and his prisoner. And then that's the underlying energy all in blues about speaking up. So obviously the masculine's been doing some talking in the recent days here. The underlying energy with all blues. And I was losing my voice as I started both of the reads today. So, okay guys, drink your water, get your rest, and nature joy, rise and be loved. Bye.